When you draw off your shirt pattern, you will begin on the shirt back. And the measurement number that we're going to use is the chest or full bust measurement, in this case 42 inches or 106.7 centimeters. Starting at center back, go from the smallest dot up to whatever your chest or bust measurement dot is, and mark that in all the way around in the neck area, the shoulder, the middle of the armhole, and the underarm. And then you simply start connecting these dots together. Use the straight edge on your stylus and draw down center back. And also make sure that you put in your straight grain marking. Now you need to do the neck curvature on the back of the pattern. Now I'd like you to hold your styluses with the words facing you and the two curves going downward. As we come down the straight edge, in the seam allowance area, you'll see a notation that says front crotch curve. We're actually going to use that curvature on the neckline of the pattern. You'll see as I hold it in place that it repeats it pretty well. And we're going to slip the stylus up and then connect those dots together. And all day long you've been wondering what BNC stood for on my stylus. Now you know it stands for back neck curve, and it is the curvature you'll use for either a man's or a woman's shirt pattern. Then you will connect together the neck to the shoulder point. And looking in the armhole, there's a series of dots labeled back arm side point 1 and a lower series labeled back arm side point number 2. Now you'll hold the stylus with the words facing you and the two curves coming downward. We'll come down the long curvy edge to the second arrowhead, and that says match to back arm side point number 1 shirt kit. So I'll take that arrowhead and put it into dot 1 and pivot into the shoulder point, and I'm going to come about a quarter of the way down, and then I'd like to stop. I'd like to mention to you that this pattern has seam allowance already built onto it for you. It's just a little bit different from the other patterns insofar as you'll draw one line all the way around the outer edge and you'll be done and ready to cut and sew. But because it has a seam allowance built into it, we do need to verify that the back shoulder width is correct for you. So in order to do that, I'm simply going to use the stylus and mark off the stitching line where your seam lines would be when all of the seams are sewn. And I'm going to measure now. Enid's back shoulder width was 17 3/4 inches long from shoulder bone to shoulder bone. That's 45 centimeters. But because I'm working on half a pattern, I need to divide that distance in half and bring that half width out from center back. And I will notice here that the pattern is approximately 1/4 inch too long for her. So on the seam line, I'm just going to measure back, on the cutting line, I'll measure back about 1/4 inch, and I'm going to reconnect now to that narrower dot. Taking the designing stylus, line up arrowhead 1 to dot 1, pivot into the narrower shoulder point, and then come on down to dot number 1. Now, there's dot number 2. This is one time when you don't want to pivot your stylus, because if you then continued to draw, you'd form a little bit of a scalloped underarm. So just remember the rule. Find the curve on the master pattern, slip the stylus up, and connect your dots together. When I take that away, that will give her that low flat underarm curvature that is unique to the shirt pattern. And what do you do with that little bit that's hanging off? Well, at home you're going to be drawing this off in pencil, and it's such a durable tracing medium that all you're going to do is erase that and you won't have any holes. And of course, if you're a broader shouldered person, again, you would just simply erase what you do not require. All right, the next thing